What are the causes and drivers of inflammation? Well, basically, number 1, 2, and 3 is diet.
These foods that you are eating are the cause of inflammation.
And so chronic inflammation over time can lead to disease.
In today's video, we're going to talk about 5 worst foods that cause inflammation. Inflammation is how the body's immune system reacts to something that irritates it. This irritant could be a germ or something else, like a splinter in your finger. Now, a little bit of inflammation is okay because it helps your body protect itself, but too much of it called chronic inflammation. When we have chronic inflammation for a longer period of time, it is responsible for heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, cancer, autoimmune disease, allergies, depression, and so forth.
People think of diabetes as an inflammatory state. If people think of depression as an inflammatory state, no. But inflammation is causing all of those chronic diseases.
The biggest mistake most people make is that they usually picture inflammation as a swollen ankle, throat pain, or skin rashes. When we talk about inflammation, we are referring 40 trillion plus body cell becoming inflamed and unhealthy. Too much inflammation at cellular level is not only responsible for chronic diseases, but also they are linked with everyday health problems that are not correlated with inflammation. Inflammation is a serious issue. Even if you can't see it happening in your body, chances are it's there. It is what we call hidden or silent inflammation.
It's what we call hidden or silent inflammation. Inflammation that we don't see, that we can't feel, that's causing all the chronic diseases that we see today.
So, what are the reasons behind too much inflammation? Well, it's your gut and your microbiome. Most of your immune system, about 60 to 70%, is in your gut. Your gut is where you encounter the most foreign substances every day, mainly from the food you eat and the bacteria living there. The immune system's job is to tell the difference between what's good and what's harmful, and it eliminates the bad stuff. Healthy microbiome helps regulate the immune system and allows the gut to take in the nutrients we need, like proteins, amino acids, fatty acids, sugars, and carbohydrates. The gut keeps out all the bad stuff and acts as the first line of defense. If this barrier breaks, your immune system gets exposed to a lot of harmful things. This can upset your immune system and cause widespread inflammation.
There could be several causes of this inflammation in the gut. Mainly it's going to be foods, okay? Now that could be a food allergy. It could be just inflammatory foods.
The foods you buy every day at the grocery store, even though they're considered safe by the FDA, are actually not safe. These foods can cause inflammation in your body. In this video, we'll share the top 5 most inflammatory foods and show you how to replace them with healthier options. As always, this video is educational and does not constitute medical advice.
What if you were to type unfermented fiber? You're going to find that unfermented fiber is inflammatory.
According to Dr. Eric Berg, humans cannot digest fiber because we don't have the necessary enzymes for it. There are a lot of research articles supporting that fiber is anti-inflammatory. But do you know about unfermented fiber? Well, eating too much fiber can overload your gut because it isn't easily digestible. Some fiber remains unfermented and isn't broken down properly. If you research on unfermented fiber, you will find that unfermented fiber is inflammatory. Dr. Eric Berg suggests, if you have inflammation, especially in your gut, you should avoid all types of fiber. This includes plant proteins, beans, legumes, and even vegetables because they can irritate your colon. By switching to a carnivore diet, make you feel a lot better. The carnivore diet includes only meat, fish, eggs, and other animal-based foods. You can eat beef, chicken, pork, lamb, turkey, organ meats, salmon, sardines, whitefish, and small amounts of heavy cream and hard cheese, butter, lard, and bone marrow are also okay to eat. So, the food you should avoid. Number 5, unfermented fiber.
Foods that create the most inflammation would be related to something like gluten, which actually is in grains. Most of the grains create inflammation in your gut.
Many of the grains we eat today have been genetically modified, processed, and treated with herbicides and pesticides. Some grains, such as wheat, are heavily refined and can cause allergic reactions in many people. Additionally, wheat is often bleached and stripped of its natural nutrients, which are then added back in as synthetic vitamins and minerals. That's why most white flour is called enriched. Just like refined sugars, refined grains like white flour, bread, pasta, and pastries have a higher glycemic index, which can lead to inflammation over time. According to Dr. Eric Berg, corn is a grain, and it is one of the most inflammatory foods out there. 96% of all corn is genetically modified. One common pesticide used on these genetically modified crops is glyphosate. Glyphosate is supposed to kill off harmful bacteria, but it also wipes out the good bacteria in our guts. This imbalance can lead to inflammation, causing things like joint pain. Glyphosate has also been linked to digestive issues like inflammatory bowel disease and celiac disease. You'll find it in lots of processed foods like refined corn chips, high fructose corn syrup, cereals, and breakfast bars. Try to replace them with ancient grains like amaranth, quinoa, spelt, rye, millet, buckwheat, and chia. For healthy corn, look for organic corn. So, the food you should avoid. Number 4, refined grains and corns.
You go to the grocery store and it says vegetable oil. What is it? Broccoli oil? No, it comes from seeds. It comes from sometimes even cottonseed oil, which is highly toxic.
According to Dr. Nick Zarowski, a common food that almost everyone eats. These include vegetable oil, seed oil, corn oil, canola oil, margarine, and soybean oil. These chemically altered fats often go by different names. When you see them on food labels, they are usually listed as hydrogenated oils or partially hydrogenated oils. These unhealthy oils are full of omega-6 fatty acids, which can cause inflammation in our body. When you eat omega-3 fatty acids, it helps balance the amount of omega-6 in your body, making you feel much better. Some healthy oils to use are coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil, and grass-fed butter. So, the food you should avoid. Number 3, common cooking oils.
Chronic heavy drinkers, what you end up with is a situation in which you have inflammation in multiple places in the brain and body, and the desire to drink even more and to further exacerbate that inflammation.
According to the 2020 U.S. Dietary Guidelines, adults who drink alcohol should limit it to 1 drink a day or less for women, and 2 drinks a day or less for men. When you drink excessive amounts of alcohol, it can disrupt important communication between your gut, liver, and brain. Alcohol kills many of the good bacteria in your gut, which are crucial for your immune system and mood. Drinking alcohol can negatively impact your mood and health by disrupting these bacteria and causing inflammation in your liver. Instead of alcohol, try refreshing drinks like pure filtered water, tea, or fresh fruit juice to quench your thirst. So you should avoid. Number 2, alcohol.
That a diet high in ultra-processed food is the problem. Cancers of all kinds, liver disease, inflammatory bowel disease, metabolic disease.
Ultra-processed foods are mainly made from ingredients taken out of other foods, like fats, starches, added sugars, and hydrogenated fats. They also often have additives like artificial colors, flavors, or stabilizers. Examples include frozen meals, soft drinks, hot dogs, cold cuts, fast food, packaged cookies, cakes, and salty snacks. You'll be surprised to learn that 83% of all the calories in grocery stores come from ultra-processed foods. According to Dr. Eric Berg, ultra-processed foods are the most harmful to our health because they cause the most inflammation inside our body. Ultra-processed foods are more than one food. These foods are highly processed and often contain added sugar, salt, and refined oils. To avoid inflammation, you should stay away from ultra-processed foods as much as possible. Dr. Eric Berg suggests, if you have any kind of inflammation, start eating beef and cabbage regularly. Just start with beef and cabbage to see what happens to your inflammation. We think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So, food you must avoid. Number 1, ultra-processed foods. Now, are you ready for a surprising bonus? Well, this time, we left an empty space for you. We left an empty space for you to fill in with foods you might be sensitive to. Many people have food sensitivities without knowing it. Unlike food allergies, which cause quick reactions, food intolerances can take time to show symptoms, like tiredness, headaches, or bloating. Eating foods your body doesn't like can lead to inflammation and chronic diseases over time. Common allergens are gluten, milk, nuts, eggs, and nightshade vegetables. To check if a food is causing problems, avoid it for 2 weeks and see how you feel. Then, try eating it again and see if you notice any negative effects. If you like this video, you are going to love that one too. In this video, we share the worst foods for diabetes and what are the good alternatives. Make sure you watch it right now.